Where am I? What's going on? What is up, everybody? Hello, this is Fiercestbard, and yeah, we're arting today, or at least we're trying to. Let's see, what is on the docket for today? I think what we're gonna try to do today is sketch out Neon, the Vision Eye Neon. I know yesterday I had like a lot of things that I was like thinking about doing today, like correcting certain artworks and or maybe finishing some old stuff, but I just feel like, you know what, like maybe I should just try to sketch out Neon. So today's gonna be like really weird because you know, my sketching is particularly messy as it is, right? Like, I don't necessarily sketch the most clean or the most like visually appealing way and stuff like that. So it's like it's gonna be a little weird. It's gonna be a little weird. I know, but it's okay. I think we'll get it. We'll get it today. It's just that like I gotta figure out now. The first thing that I need to figure out is the pose that I wanted to do. And in the meantime, I'm collecting some references right now. So that's why I have Titty Star Artist up on the screen so you guys can see the line work that we did for our last image. I did pass this one over to Mooney now, and then she's going to be filling in a lot of the coloring, like the flat colors and some of the shading and stuff like that, and for me and stuff, right? And then, you know, like depending on where she goes with it, I will go in and finish the image and stuff like that, right? So it's kind of the workflow that we've been using for quite a while now for a lot of these artworks, and it's increased the amount of artwork that we can produce together and stuff like that, and I feel like it's working out for us. So I think I'm gonna keep up with that. But yeah, like for Neon now, so okay, so immediately for the image of Neon, right, that like originally I was thinking like maybe do something like I don't know, like let me actually come up with some ideas right now, actually, right? So originally I was thinking like maybe I could do something like this, right, where I have like this sort of thing where it's like a dark background, right? And it's dark because not necessarily because like there's an inherent like you know, that I want to do a dark background, but like hear me out, guys. Hear me out. Okay. So, you know, you guys know that she is our firepower queen, and she's like, you know, she's all about this, right? So I was just thinking like maybe like have a crazy like explosion in the background to start the image off, right? And it's like exploding everywhere and stuff like that, right? And then Golden, what's up? How are you? Welcome in, welcome in. You're just in time to watch me noodle. Noodle the caboodle and try to figure out what the heck it is that I'm trying to draw today. But yeah, what's going on with you? Hope everything is good with you. It's hump day. It is the middle of the week. And we are trying to just kind of figure out the stuff. We're trying to figure out stuff. Though admittedly, I probably should have started sketching this a little bit sooner, right? So that's why I'm trying to come up with some ideas here. Excuse me. But yeah, like so I was thinking like of something like this, right? Where Neon is just kind of and this might not be the best thing to do. I mean, it doesn't feel like the most you know, like dynamic pose or anything like that, right? So it might not actually be where I want to go with this, but you know, we shall see. We shall see. Like, you know, let's see. No, no. Because I was thinking, like, what is it? Like, this is like similar to what is it? Like, the Gynax pose or something like that, where she's got her arms crossed in the middle, right? So I don't know if you guys have ever seen like Gunbuster and an anime like that, right? Like, but you know, this is kind of like, and then you know, like, have her legs not necessarily in the middle, but rather like um and then you got like her hair. I know she's got like whitish hair and stuff like that, but usually, you know, they they kind of color it like this. And then she's got her but yeah, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the anime Gunbuster or any versions of anime that kind of utilize something like this when it comes to the pose and stuff like that. So I was thinking about something like this where you know, Neon just kind of, you know, cool guys don't look at explosions type of deal. And then, you know, like, she'll be, like, in the shadows over here. Though I almost think that this might be too basic, right? Like... And if you're wondering, yes, I should really be doing this more often when I come up with sketches and stuff like that. Like, I don't know why I don't do this. This is actually something that I should practice and start doing more of, right? Like, but I don't know why I don't listen to myself when it comes to some of my one of my ideas and things like that for getting improving or to do arting in general. So I just don't for some reason. See, but if I do it like this though, like, you know, you can kind of see like how you can construct artwork. I'm great, just chilling, making bangers as per usual. Nice. It's hump day today? Yes, it's hump day. Not that kind of hump. Oh, chat, you little... No, you guys know what I mean by hump day. Come on. Come on. It's Wednesday. And then she's got her, her super long, thing. Her coat, I should say. So then the yellow part of the coat is, like, underneath here. And so, you know, you've got the coat like this, sort of. And then, no. I'm just saying it's cool. What did you think I was thinking? I don't know. What did I think you were thinking, huh? It wasn't anything degenerate. I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Add glow, right? Add glow. Glow dodge, maybe? What am I doing? Add glow, yeah. And then we have, like, explosion, but not like Megumin. Yeah, I don't know why I don't do this more. To be honest, like this is, this is how I kind of originally learned that to generate ideas for myself, and I don't know why I just never do this. Like, okay. So that's kind of like one of the ideas that I was thinking of, like where I just have her kind of standing in all that, right? Sure. I'm serious. I'm serious. There was nothing degenerate at all. No, in all seriousness, like that's kind of this is kind of one thing that I was thinking about doing, right? Like, when it comes to like an image for Neon, but then like, maybe let's see if I could make something a little bit different than this, right? Like cuz she's just kind of standing there like and everything's exploding in behind her and stuff like that. So that's something like, again, like the pose is not too dynamic in this regard, right? Like she's just kind of doing her thing per usual and stuff like that, right? So what if I decided to do something like that, but a little bit different? So let's try. Let's try. Um, so the background's still going to be pretty dark because, again, I'm probably going to have like some kind of explosion happening behind her or something like that. Because cool guys don't look at explosions, right? That's what we're gonna go with every single time. Cool guys don't look at explosions, and then maybe like I don't know. Let's see what we can come up with this time. And again, the way that I sketch and generate ideas is very strange. I know it's not it's not what people would usually do, I think. Or maybe, I mean, there are some artists that do stuff like this, like painters most noticeably, right? But me, when I sketch with lines and stuff like that, I tend to get super like lost in the lines, and then like the sketches that I do are so messy that like I can't really tell what's going on. So maybe, I'm going back to the basics of what I used to do. This is kind of like me rediscovering certain things that I used to do. Hey, no miss, what's up? How you doing? Um, but yeah, oh yeah, Goofy, what's up? Joking, don't mind that. What? I love you, babe. You know what, Goofy? You never have to joke when you say things like that. It's okay. Well, yeah, what's going on? How you doing? I'm just trying to generate some art ideas for myself as I try to figure out how best to represent Neon from Nikkei, Goddess of Victory Nikkei. I'm trying to sketch, but I'm doing a different way of sketching that I used to kind of do a lot. I haven't done this way in a while, so oh yeah, let me do explosion. There's like an explosion behind her. Oops. Maybe I shouldn't, there we go, there we go. Because she's all about firepower. That's what I should be saying, not explosion, firepower. That's her thing, not... She's not Megumin. Do you still play Nikkei? I was lucky enough to get both Honest and Neon. Yeah, I do actually. And yes, I did get I got 2 copies of Neon and 1 copy of Honest. I'm really happy. I'm really happy. Though I believe no. I didn't use my golden tickets. I didn't use my golden tickets to get them. I was very fortunate this past gacha. So but yes, I still play Nikkei. I don't think I can give up the game. For those of you who know the lore, if you know the lore, you know the lore. But basically, that is the game. That is the game that, like, I think me and Mooney can never really truly give up on. Like, to be honest with you guys, I don't think we can like, we have to be in the game, you know, at the very least. Like, you know, even if we don't play it actively, but we can't really give up on it because it is the game that brought us together. So silly enough, you know, like it's kind of like we have to play the game. Could you try drawing Gojo when you're done with this drawing? Gojo? Oh, from what is it? Jujutsu Kaisen, right? Yeah, I know my anime. I know anime. I know the animes. We'll see. I mean, you know, like, I don't tend to draw male characters all that much. But at the same time, you know, should I? Should I draw some more male characters? I don't know anything about Jujutsu Kaisen though, but I can probably try it for fun, you know, at some point, right? Okay, her skirt is over here somewhere, right? And then let's and then there we got some thigh. So this is kind of a weird pose because she's kind of like, I don't really understand what's happening here with her pose and stuff like that. So I'm not as convinced by this one, right? And then maybe her hand is like over here. And she's like, firepower, yeah! I had to use a golden ticket for Neon, but it was worth it. She is definitely worth it. It's like, at first I was kind of unimpressed because I was doing, like, the numbers, right? Like, I went into the shooting range, and I was like, doing the numbers for it and stuff like that, right? And it was kind of like with Neon, I was like, oh, I'm not really getting numbers that are any better than, like, who was it? Who was it? I kind of got some numbers that were like, they were okay, but they weren't that great, right? Like, it was almost the same as Cinderella, actually. Yeah, that's what it was. So it was kind of like, I guess she's okay. They were really good, but Cinderella's doing about the same numbers, right? So it was just kind of like, okay, like, um, this is not bad, but it's not great either. And then I realized something while I was upgrading. My Cinderella is 3-star. She's the 3-star unlocked Cinderella. I got really lucky with Cinderella when over time. I didn't initially get this with her, right? But basically over time I got 4 copies of her somehow. And so I unlocked the heck out of her, right? So she's actually way more powerful than most of the other characters that I have. And I was like, oh, that explains a lot. That actually explains a lot. And why Neon was not doing like way better than her. It's not that. It's because just my Cinderella just happens to be like really good, right? So actually when I got one unlock with Neon, she actually actively beats Cinderella in terms of damage, and this is like a 3-star unlocked Cinderella. So I'm like, oh wow, Neon's actually really good. So even getting one copy of her is like really good. Highly advised if oh wait, did it reset already? Oh shoot. I think it reset already. So if you didn't get her yet, unfortunately, like, it might be too late at this point. It's okay, it's okay. It's okay, don't worry. Don't worry about it, even if it is too late. She's a really good unit, though. I was very happy because, the summer... As you guys know, the summer Neon was disappointment. It was ridiculous disappointment, to the point where it was like, oh man, they're just never gonna make a good unit of Neon, are they? I'm not really convinced with this pose. I feel like it's a little bit too silly. She's a silly character, but she's not like this. she's not she's not ridiculous like this. Nah, I think I don't think I'm gonna go with this, but I kind of wanna, I just kind of wanna like see where it goes. Could you draw Yuta Okotsu when you're done with this drawing? Who's that? I don't know that character actually. I know who Satoru is because everybody like talks about him, right? Like, what does he look like actually? Since this is just really just like a sketching. To be honest, this is really just a sketching um like a sketching stream, so I don't mind trying things out actually, but like, oh yeah, like, what does he look like? He's usually like how does, okay, let me try to do this. I haven't now granted I haven't drawn many many characters, like male characters, much less shonen jump type male characters, in like quite a while, right? So how would I approach drawing this particular character? He's the one with this, right? Like he's got the blindfold on up here, I think, right? Like that's this character, right? Gojo? Hey, hold on. Let me. It's something. Yeah. Okay. he's got like a blindfold on or something over here, and then like he's always got a smile on for some reason. Well, actually, I think I made that too low, right? I made that too low because it's usually because he's usually looking up, like he's got his head tilted up a little bit, and then it's like, what is it like? How does his hair go? Okay, well, like let me get his ears in there a little bit. Well, actually, no, they're too high from this angle. They're a little too high, right? So his ears are a little lower because and then he's got like I don't think they start from his hair starts from there, right? Like because his like thing is over here, like it's something like that, right? Like I'm not his hair is a little spiky. Gonna go lurk? Yeah, no problem. Thanks for dropping by. Yeah. Like, sorry, it's like again, like I don't really draw too many guy characters all the time, but like, it's like I don't know if there's like a specific pattern for his hair, because that's the problem. Like I don't know enough about the character to confidently draw out his hair. Like when you draw like a character like Goku, okay, there's that, right? Then there's that, and it's three of them, right? Like so a character like Goku has like three of them, right? And then the round part here, and then like 1, 2, 3, right? So it's like, like I'm very 100% certain with a character like this, right? Where him, like for a character like Gojo, I don't know what his hair is kind of like constructed like and stuff like. And I guess maybe this is why, because didn't they change his design or something like that? Like I don't know if that's true though. I don't know if that's true. But didn't they like do like a total design revamp for him? Because I know that like in the like I've seen some screenshots of like a movie for Jujutsu Kaisen, right? And he looks very different. Like I think that's Gojo, right? Like in the movie or something like that, and like he looks like very different as a character and stuff like that. Like, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, his hair starts from the blindfold. Oh, okay. So it doesn't actually come down all that much and stuff like that. Yeah. Unfortunately, like again, like I'm not as super familiar with these types of characters, right? So like, like when I try to draw them and stuff like that for the first time without any initial practice and stuff like that, like I don't quite get it, unfortunately. I hope I did okay enough where it somewhat looks like the character. And then it's like, I guess, like, he's gonna have, like... I don't know. Something like that. Or maybe we can have characters that have no hair and just make them completely bald. Make them completely bald. And then you just add stuff like antenna to them. And look, you got Piccolo. Yeah, I only know how to draw certain characters. I suck at drawing. This Gojo looks very good, does it? Does it actually look good? Okay, let's try. Let's try to continue going here. We got a little bit warmed up. So, what kind of pose do I want for Neon? Is the question. I want her. Do I want her shooting? Do I want her exploding things? Let's try. I'm gonna try to sketch a little bit with lines. Maybe I need thinner lines than that. Yeah, I do. See, when I do sketches with line art like this, right? Like when it's like I'm not as successful at generating ideas because like it's like the problem is that I keep getting caught up in all the details on the character, right? Like there's a part of me that really wants to work on like, oh, give the eyes the eye shines and all that other stuff, and then it's like I kind of focus so much on that stuff that I lose the motivation to for all the other stuff. So like I don't think this is the best way to sketch. That's why I'm not I was just trying to do sketches with just blocking in colors and things like that, right? Let's see. Draw a hair going left, then a hair going up, and then a hair going right, and then continue doing his hair the way you were doing it before. It's so hard for me to draw 3/4 angle stuff. Can give me tips? Oh, well, you know, like, okay, so, like, remember, like, earlier when I was, like, saying, like, you know, work on your geometry, right? So when you draw a box, right? Most people just kind of draw a box, right? But then if you know how to, like, draw a 3-dimensional cube instead, right, of a box, and you know all the different angles to draw the cube in and stuff like that, that can help you a lot because, you know, ultimately, like, what did you say, like 3/4 the view and stuff like that? Like, you know, you wanna account for all the different panels here and stuff like that, and you know, like, even this cube, this is almost 3/4, but tilted upwards and stuff like that, right? So if you can turn this cube in different directions and stuff like that, you'll be able to draw like a face in 3/4, because look at what you could do with the cube. You could actually subdivide the cube, right? And then, like, you can actually draw a face on the cube. And use the cube, too. Because you see me using the circle, right? But you could actually use the cube to help guide you in you know, how you draw, like, the faces and stuff like that. Here's a nose and stuff like that. So you can kind of see why I was saying, like, you know, you just study your basics and stuff like that, right? Like, and work on creating like shapes and stuff like that for yourself and stuff like that, and you'll kind of get an idea for how to draw like certain angles and stuff like that by doing that. Like if you try to do it like this where you're like, I'm trying to draw these lines and stuff like that, but they're not really lining up with where something would be like angled like this, right? You get confused by not drawing your basic shapes and stuff. But what happens when you put a cat in a box? Then you get Schrodinger's cat, okay? Is there a cat in the box, or is there no cat in the box? Is it alive or is it not? Right? You can't find out until you open the box. Then you have a philosophical question that you can't unravel unless you take the chance to open the box. You don't want that, okay? I'm telling you right now, you don't want the philosophical question. You want the certainty of knowing if the cat is there or not, if it's alive or not. Yeah, and yes, that is actually a real thing. That's actually a real thing that people have been talking about for ages. I'm not even kidding right now. Let's see, what other kind of poses can we do with this and stuff. And yeah, sorry, this is like more of like a weird stream. I don't think we're gonna see anything in terms of like completed artwork in this stream, because it's like, we're just trying to figure out the pose that we want, right? And then like, okay, here's another thing that I noticed that a lot of people seemingly, not a lot of people, I mean, like, I've seen the artwork for they keep drawing Neon, like, okay, let's say that there's an explosion behind her, right? It always starts with an explosion, okay, everyone? It it always starts with an explosion. I don't know why the explosion looks like that, okay? I'm just just trying to get it in there first, okay? Boom. Right? Fiery explosion. There. Okay, that's a fiery explosion enough, right? Well, the cat in my box is not alive. Oh no! Figure study stream? I mean, I should do some. I'm not gonna lie, I should do some figure study streams, and streams where I just draw, like, certain characters and see if I'm able to do it and stuff like that. Because, like, no matter where you are, what level you are at art, you can always use practice streams where, or rather, practice, right? Like, it never hurts to have moments where you're trying things that you learned, or maybe going back to basics because you've forgotten certain things, right? So it never hurts. It never hurts to do that. And then what yeah, the explosion of stuff. Right? So this is an explosion, right? It's exploded, and then Neon's just kind of like over here. Can't you search up Yuta Okotsu then for Essen so you can draw? Let's see. Who is this Yuta Okotsu person? Who is this character? Oh, is this like another one of those what was it, Jujutsu Kaisen characters? You really like that show, don't you? And you know, like, is breaking it into shapes the best option? Oh yeah, for sure, right? Like, you know, I will say that, like, when you're trying to draw anything, I mean, even with me, like, you can kind of see what I'm doing is like I'm constructing this character out of these like primitives and things like that, right? So it's like, you know, and now I'm actually changing my mind on where I want this where I want certain things actually. But you should definitely, like, you know, try it. I think it would help for you to try and do stuff like this, right? Where you're just kind of breaking down your favorite characters into certain shapes, because it's like a way of training your mind to simplify certain things, so that you're not caught up in the details like too early into the artwork, right? Because if you get caught up in the details too early in the artwork, you like, for me, what happens is I get so caught up in trying to do the details that I get like this mental fatigue where I don't, like, I get tired, like, mentally of trying to figure it out, and then I lose my focus, and then I'm not able to actually do the thing that I originally wanted to do and stuff like that, right? So I like kind of give up on the artwork at that point and stuff like that, right? So the more you simplify it for yourself, the more you can at least get the idea down for the character. And then once you get the idea down for the character, right, it's like, let it exist first before you make it look good. Don't worry about it until then, you know? Like, it is what I would say is like the best way to approach it and stuff like that. That's how I like want to approach things, but whether or not I'm successful in doing that is another story, right? Some artists said I should study the character and study if they have wider shoulders and a not wide waist, and if they have a wide body and a wide waist. I mean, it depends on the type of character that you wanna draw, right? But yeah, like, you know, and you know, when people say study a character, right, that can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different artists, right? Like, you know, it could mean like, oh, studying the types of shapes that make up their whole body, like whether or not they have wide shoulders or wide hips, like you said, or waist and stuff like that. So yeah, you know, like, I mean, you take a look at a lot of references of what you want to draw, and then, you know, like, you figure out the breakdown of the character. That's why I was like saying too, like, you know, it doesn't hurt to take a character and just draw over it, right? Like, take a reference for a character that you really like and then draw over it, and then, like, you know, figure out, okay, the artist here drew like a cylinder for the chest, right? And then they drew like some orbs for the shoulder, and they connected it like that, and then they did another cylinder for the arms and stuff like that. Like, you know, like, really breaking down a character like almost scientifically like that will help you out a lot in terms of, like, you know, figuring out what you want to how to draw a character and what you want to do with the character, right? So, you know, it's like you kind of learn these habits as you go. I know I'm probably not explaining it the best way that I could, right? It's mostly because I'm also dedicating a lot of my brain power right now to trying to you know, draw this and stuff like that, right? So, like, unfortunately, like, you know, I'm not very good at multitasking because half my brain cell is in the other room The other half of my brain cells are in the other rooms, unfortunately, right now. I think my favorite artist, Fiercestbard, drew a triangle for the waist. You know, the best. Is that your favorite artist? I think that artist is Stinky. I think that artist is a Stinky. Like I heard Fiercestbard is a stinky stink. The best way is to practice and learn according to what feels right to you. There's no wrong way to art after is a journey. It really is, you know. It's like it's like and for everyone that journey is like different, right? Because for some people, all these tips will make sense. For other people, they'll be like, what the hell are you talking about, right? And then they'll realize, like, along the way that what makes sense for them doesn't make sense for everyone else, right? And that's kind of what happened with me too. Like, I took a lot of tips from a lot of different people and a lot of different artists over the course of my life, right? And I realized, like, a lot of the tips that I was hearing make sense to those artists in particular, but they did not make a lick of sense to me at all, and stuff like that, right? So as it turns out, you know, like, I had to kind of figure things out on my own by drawing a lot, and, you know, like, seeing what made sense to me mentally and stuff like that. And then one day it kind of started to click for me a little bit, you know, like, just one day it just, like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like one day I started going, oh, that's what they meant, and stuff like that, right? So it's like it's such a weird journey for everyone. Like, everyone has their own way of coming to the same conclusions as other artists, and sometimes you just, you know, you just got to go on the journey. Like, if you don't start your journey, then you'll just never get there because of that, right? Like, it is such a weird thing to say that, but, you know, like, that's really what happened. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but just one day I was like drawing, and I was just kind of like going through the steps of doing certain things, and it was like, oh shit, that's how they did it. And then I just kind of realized it, like, you know. And it took a lot of not just you know, getting tips, but trial and error, you know. Thank you so much. Thank you. No, you don't have to thank me, you know. Like, it's not like a lot of these tips and tricks are things that are secret either, you know. Like, I got them from other artists and, you know, other creatives and stuff like that. So, you know, it's like, sorry, I should finish my thought, but I was just like, oh, I need to think about this one. Hold on. Actually, there is a wrong way. The wrong way is to give up, because if you give up, you never get better. Really, it is, you know. I will say that, Mooney, you're right on that. If you just kind of give up on it, you just never really get better. And then, you know, some people give up really, really, you know, without even trying, and then, you know, you get the freaking AI bros and stuff, and then they, you know, they've beyond given up because they're just kind of offloading their work to something else so that they don't have to actually do it. How would you see shapes in drawings? I mean, it's like it's not really like you kind of cuz okay, some people are naturally born with that ability. Like there's always an argument for whether or not like talent is a thing, right? Talent I believe is a thing, right? But I don't think everybody's necessarily born with it immediately, right? So how do you like so what does that have to do with seeing shapes in art, right? Some people have naturally have the inclination to be able to see those shapes early on. Um and they, they advance in art a lot faster than other people, right? Some people like me had to train myself to do it. And, like it's like a muscle that you work on, and like you have to continue to work on it over time. You don't just wake up one day and are like, oh, i can see the I could see the shapes now and stuff like that, right? Like it doesn't really work that way unless you were born with that foresight. And sometimes it just takes some people telling you how to do it. But anyway, like I said, like how did I train myself to see shapes in certain forms? By like going to my favorite characters and just like breaking them down by taking a reference of that character. Like I did that a lot with Goku from Dragon Ball. I really liked Dragon Ball, as you could tell. And I just ended up drawing over that reference and trying to figure out the shapes that Akira Toriyama used to draw Goku for the longest time. And that's kind of how I figured it out and stuff like that. Does that work for everybody? Maybe, maybe not, but that's how I figured it out and stuff like that. And then remembering it, like reproducing it, right? Like, so this is where the practice part of that comes from. Like, once you've done the breakdown of the character, right, and you figured out, okay, Goku's torso is made of these shapes, right, then you try to do it on your own as well. Like, you don't just go, okay, now that I know this, I don't need to do anything else. You have to actually practice it. So that's the second part to it, right? Where you put your study to practice and stuff, right? So that's really what it is. It's just, it's just doing the breakdown first, and then after you've done the breakdowns and stuff like that, you practice um you know trying to recall what you did before. And when you do that practice, you'll find that, oh shoot, you can start to look at other things and then realize, hey, that's kind of the same. There's a cylinder here, there's a square here, and then there's a couple of circles here and stuff like that. So you kind of start to see it in other things that you're looking at and stuff like that, right? So like, you know, I will say that I would highly encourage you, if your goal is to draw um specific characters, right? To do that, to take the references of those characters and to do the breakdown of the character and practice nonstop. Trying to figure out what shapes make up that character and stuff. And then in the future, once you've done that enough times, you'll start to kind of see those shapes in other people and other things and stuff like that, right? So it starts to become a thing that you can reproduce in other things. Because like trying to figure it out, like by it, like going, oh, okay, this is how it's going to be for every character. It's not really how it works, right? Like there's no one way to say, okay, how do I see shapes in certain things, right? Like you have to actually do the trial and error of figuring it out for yourself first. And when you figured it out, for one thing, you start to kind of like recall it in your memory, and then you're able to kind of do it. So very, very highly advised that you do character breakdowns, for because I think what you're looking for is to be able to draw certain characters, right? Like it seems like you like Jujutsu Kaisen a lot, right? So like that might be a goal for yourself to kind of go for, right? I'm gonna go touch grass. You can go touch grass. Touching grass might be actually a good thing for me too. I probably need to go touch grass myself. But yeah, thanks for dropping by, you know? Super appreciate it. And hope your grass touching is fun. I know she's got, like, sleeves on this thing. And then she's got her own arms. And then she's like, go firepower! Just like the other image right there? Nah. Maybe I do something where I exaggerate the arm position a little bit. Sadly, no other streamers thank me for coming by. Oh, that's, you know, it's like every streamer has their own like, you know, thing, but you know, it's not that they I don't think it's necessarily that they don't thank you or care to thank you. It's just that, you know, like sometimes there's just a lot of people to talk to and stuff like that. Like I'm very fortunate in a lot of ways. Well, okay, I won't say that I'm fortunate because I'm a very small streamer, right? But you know, it gives me the ability to interact with you guys a little bit more than say a very large streamer, right? Like, you know, I'm pretty certain that, you know, like a lot of streamers out there would love to, you know, be able to say more to everybody as you know, that visits and stuff like that. It's just that sometimes it's not possible when they have a lot of people to deal with and stuff like that. So, you know. Oh yeah, yeah. You know what? I needed to add to this. That's right. That's right. Whoops. What it is a part of her gun, actually. Her new weapon. So I might want to do something like this, right? Where it's like she's kind of leaning not leaning, but rather she's like going towards the viewer and stuff like that, right? So maybe something like this is where what I want to do for this image. Every streamer has a different styles. Really, yeah, every streamer does have a very different style, right? Okay, let's try now. Let's try to so sometimes when I do sketches and things like that, right? Like I have to do multiple passes on every sketch to get the right look and feel for it, right? So now that I've done this with her, I feel like I can start building this up into something, right? So and lately I've been very enamored with the whole head upturned poses and stuff like that, so you'll have to excuse me for wanting to do something here like for that. Some people don't mind goodbyes. Some don't like mentioning it because it can depend on the vibe. Always good to check the rules if there are any. The free run pose, yeah. Kinda, sorta, like, I lately have really liked it. Like, because, like, it's not just from the free run meme, but also from, the fact that, like, some of my favorite artists, like, Yone Yamamai, she actually very specifically is someone who loves to do the upturned head as a pose and stuff like that. And there was like a video of her talking to one of her like art colleagues, the another artist who was is in the industry and stuff like that, right? And that artist mentioned, like, in a humorous way, they're like, "Oh, I noticed that you always draw the eye bags underneath the eyes." And she started laughing about that, and I was like, "Oh yeah, you're right. She does actually draw. Like, she'll normally draw like the eyes, from a upturned head, position, and then underneath the eyes, she will actually add like an extra line or two over here, and you could see the detail for the eyes there and stuff like that. And it's kind of a signature of her style in particular. I don't do that though, because I'm not as comfy with the eye bags, but like, I don't tend to do it anyway, but let me get rid of those before I end up keeping them somehow. And yeah, see, this is the bad habit that I was talking about earlier. I'm still doing it, but that's just kind of like, uh, I want to avoid doing this, but I can't help myself. Where I start doing details on the character, even though I haven't completed much of the sketch yet. So I don't know if that's really what her mouth is gonna look like, but Though actually, I don't know if you know what, I'm actually, I got caught up doing that head turn up, but actually, like, the sketch underneath I did was not. She's not doing that. She's actually not doing that. It's literally from below. So you know what? Let me not deviate. Let me not deviate from that. Let me add an ear, or at least a piece of an ear over here. And actually, from a pose like this, I can give her the more almond shaped looking cat-like eyes. She doesn't normally have something like this, but And then she's got her glasses, which, you know, that's like her signature thing. Let's see. I'm actually trying to do this without looking at her reference, which is not the way that you should do this at all. And then this is where her hat would be. I don't know, sometimes it's fun to just do these types of like idea sketches and stuff like that, instead of trying to go so hard and get something complete, I should say. Yeah, that's what I meant. And sometimes I really should, you know, like, try my best to kind of just do that, right? Like, because I have the same problem a lot of other artists have, where, you know, like, the moment that we hit that start stream button, we want to be like, oh, this is super impressive, and, you know, like, it's awesome and stuff like that. And, you know, like, yeah, everybody wants to do like crazy good art all the time, 24/7. But sometimes, you know, like, sometimes it's not possible just yet, and you gotta work out, you know, the sketch and stuff like that first, right? Like, sometimes you have to go through this process before you do it. And again, you know, like, that's why I don't like it when I sketch on stream, because I feel that pressure more of being like, oh, I need to have something complete on the stream, you know, like, so that, you know, we I don't know, it wasn't a waste of time, for example, and stuff like that, right? But, you know, the fact of the matter is, like, in order for me to have something ready for every stream to do something like that, I would have to be a full-time artist, and unfortunately I can't be. I would love to be, for sure, but unfortunately, you know, trying to be a full-time artist in this economy is a little it's a little hard, let's just say. 4 fingers. But yeah, like, oh yeah, so I need to actually mention this for those of you who were not here last stream. Um, Next week I'm not going to be streaming. Yeah, I know. What else is new, Bard? You never keep your schedule. No, next week I'm actually going to be at Anime North with Mooney. Uh, Mooney is volunteering for the fleet and basically running the booth um, for V Fleet, and I actually got invited to table, though it's not in the artist alley itself. It's actually at the V Fleet booth. I'm being allowed to table art there for at a con that I did not necessarily think I was gonna be. It's kind of interesting how every time I get a tabling opportunity, it's in such a weird situation, but you know, it kind of is what it is, and you just take the opportunities as they come, right? So, I won't be here. I won't be here. That's the unfortunate part, but um, you know, we'll be at Anime North. If you guys happen to be going to Anime North, feel free to drop by the V Fleet booth and say hello. And you know, you might even see some of the arts that you normally see here at the booth and stuff like that. It's gonna be kind of interesting. So yeah, you know. So that is why I am not gonna be streaming next week, but it is okay. I will get back to my regular streams after the week after and stuff, right? So we will be back. We will be back. I promise. I promise. But yeah, it's just always kind of funny that the 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 tabling opportunities, I should say, that I somehow run into with Mooney. Always the weirdest. Always the weirdest and most interesting opportunities, I will say. Whoops. That is shaped in the weirdest way possible. Okay. And then, like, I don't know how I feel about that. So I kind of feel like I want to go in this sort of direction where I'm doing the fancy pose with her, right? But I just got to get the proportions and stuff right. But I think that's kind of where I want to go with this. Let's see. Let me see if I can look up references for similar poses and stuff like that where let me close this. Okay. And this is what it's about. It's like about generating the idea first, right? Getting the idea down. And yeah, sure, it's not great. You know, it's like it's not the like best looking right now currently in the way that it's I mean the hat is like the completely wrong like way, you know, like everything here is like really not the right proportion or the right angle and stuff like that, but it's like you get the idea down for what you want so you understand where you want to go first, and then once it exists, then you start to work on getting it to actually look good. That's like the most important part about doing any of this stuff, right? It's generating said idea first, and now since I kind of have an idea of where I want to go with this, right? What I will do here is let me first flatten this a little bit and then copy this and then transfer it over to a bigger thing here. I'll leave this all in the background and then I'll just kind of use this as my base for what I want to do. And I might even change some of this as I go and stuff, but now that I have an idea of what I want to do, we're gonna go through this again with another pass on the sketch, but only this time I'm gonna actually look for a specific pose to help me, right? Like I've got to look for poses from the top-down angle and stuff like that to help me just like, you know, see like, okay, how do other artists approach this angle and what do they do that looks good and stuff like that, right? So it's all about doing the research and then like coming up with a final where, you know, like it incorporates all these little ideas that you've seen that inspired you, and you know, like hopefully it will look good at the end of the day with our image. What's funny though is that a lot of times when you look for reference photos for this, like sometimes you might not even be able to find something, so you might even want to go like and use like your own photos. For example, like if you have a very superposable action figure, if you even have an action figure of that particular character, even, right? Like you take your own photo of it and stuff like that in the pose that you want, and then you know you use that as your base, and you know you just kind of figure it out from there and stuff like that. So that works too. But let's see if I can find for myself. Sorry, I'm just taking a lot of time with this, unfortunately. But, you know, at the end of the day, that's what makes the best images, right? Like you taking a lot of time to do research and then implementing the things that you like that you found. Okay. Okay, I think I got something going on here. All right. So this might be a little bit different than the sketch underneath, but I feel like I want to give it a shot. My weirdly shaped circle. And yeah, it is a little weird again, I'm like literally drawing the same thing multiple times, right? Like, so this is like what, the third or fourth time that I'm doing a pass on um this head, for example, and this type of thing. But like that's kind of what you have to do when you're doing the arting thing. Like it's all about discovering the discovery part of it and discovering what you like and then implementing certain parts of it. Like, I'm looking at some references for people that are drawing this top-down view, and I noticed something about the way that I'm doing this, and it's like, oh, I'm actually drawing her a lot with I'm drawing her with her head kind of like this, right? And her body's in front of her like this, right? But rather than having like this is like a very bad illustration of what I'm trying to do. Okay, so right now my sketch, right, has her body like against this, right? So that's her torso, and then her the rest of her is like this, right? But this is kind of like this. It's just having this like C shape where I'm looking at certain references where, oh, the head is this way, then the body is this way, and then it's like this way. So it's a little bit more interesting to look at and stuff like that. So I'm trying to do something more like that, where I have the head in the opposing direction and stuff like that. And just changing her head a little bit instead of having it on this side, actually you can kind of already see that it's a little bit more interesting already, with the way that she's posed. So it's like, again, sometimes you want to go out there and see what everybody else is doing, just so that you can implement some of this stuff into your own work and see if it works for the image that you want to do. Oops. I'm screwing this up right now. This is too messy. So let's let's just get everything. Okay. Neon's actually got really large eyes, as compared to some other characters in Nikkei. I always like to, for characters like Neon though, I don't like to do the cat-like eyes a lot for them. Because she's like kind of a friendly character in a lot of ways, even though she's a terrible spy. But at least for the sketch, I will have her with these this type of thing, and then I'll change it for the actual thing, right? And then her eyebrows are always like, she's got the yeah firepower. Okay, glasses. So her glasses are like different because it's like they lie a little bit lower on her face. I'm back from touching grass. You af? Never mind. No, I'm not af. It might seem that way though to some people though. I might seem like I am because sometimes I do go quiet trying to concentrate, right? But yeah, no, her eyeglasses are actually lower on her face than with most characters and stuff like that, and they're actually quite large, the lenses for them. The space between them is probably not that large, but I don't know. I like drawing them like that, okay? And then, like, okay, so looking at this right now, her head is actually going towards us, right? So, like, I'm looking at this right now and actually seeing that maybe with this version, I gotta make it bigger because, you know, like, it's the perspective that you gotta maintain, right? So, like, her head is gonna be coming up towards us, and therefore, you know, it's gonna be larger. I forgot what you said I should do. Oh, about what? Oh, about seeing shapes in characters and stuff like that, right? Is that what you mean? Okay, let's put her hair on first before we do anything else. Well, like, again, you know, you should at first, like, pick a character that you like. For example, like, so we'll do it over here. Actually, this might actually be pretty good. A pretty good let's see. Pick a character you like, right? And then go and look for a reference for something that you'd like to draw of them and stuff like that, right? So, like, the only hard part about with certain characters like Gojo, for example, right, is that, you know, they tend to be drawn in very specific poses and stuff like that, right? But, you know, like, for example, actually, this is not even a drawing. This is this is a figure of Gojo. Yeah, that's a figure of Gojo. I think that, like, what a lot of people should do is, like, okay, if you really like this pose, for example, let's get rid of all this stuff. If you really like this pose, right, then you should go kind of like, how do I see the shapes on Gojo here, right? Like, how do I figure it out? Well, you just kind of go. Oh, you let Yuta Okotsu? Okay. Let's do this. Let's do this one first, right? But you should take a pose that you like of them and then just, like, figure out, okay, what is going on here? How do I know for a fact that the arm, so, like, this is the arm, is made up of a cylinder of some sort, right? So what I would do is, number one, that's like the end of the cylinder, and then just go in, right? So that's one part of the arms, right? That's a cylinder that creates the arm, and then this is the shoulder right here, right? So you just kind of go in, and then you just, like, go in and figure out, oh, like, oh, this is what makes up the character, right? So you just take a reference of a character that you really like and just break it down by drawing over it and stuff like that, right? Like, just so that you have a way of figuring out what shapes create this particular character. So I think in this particular character, like, you're not really gonna be able to see the shapes on a lot of it, because a lot of it is like, you know, it's this coat, right? Like, it's covering a lot of it. But what you can do is use it to figure out, like, okay, his body is kind of like this big rectangle, right? It's like a rectangular shape, but, you know, you can still kind of see, like, you know, what makes up his body and stuff like that, right? So like, you know, you just do exercises like this where you just break down the character's pieces into these pieces that can just tell you like what's what. Like, and me, I'm doing it a little bit differently here because I kind of know, okay, this is like the anatomy of this character and stuff like that, right? So I'm just doing it a little bit more detailed than you would normally do it, but so the arm goes into there and stuff like that. So, and then like after you do like a whole thing where you break down the character shapes and stuff like that, right? You take away that image and then you try to do it yourself and stuff like that, and you try to remember what you did to get this and stuff like that. And that's how you should practice drawing specific characters, I think, right? At least it's a thing that I did quite a bit of. It doesn't really look like I'm doing a whole the best job of it, unfortunately here, because I'm like doing it in a hurry, right? But like you kind of do this to the characters that you like, and then you see if you remember what you did without the image, and then you just kind of go back and forth, and you constantly do that over and over until you get it right and stuff like that. Like, again, the unfortunate part for me is that I never really did that all that much with male characters because that wasn't my focus in terms of what I like to draw. As you guys know, I like to draw the waifus and stuff like that. So my entire focus with all my practice is drawing, you know, like more female characters and you know, cutesy characters and things like that, unfortunately. Like, so I don't have like a very good mental library of drawing like male characters, unfortunately. But that doesn't mean you guys can't have that. Yeah, I just wanted to give her her hair first before I start trying to draw the hat and stuff, right? Because it's like, it's sort of like I'm not laying down the base for everything to that lies on top of it, right? So because ultimately the hat here has to lie on top of something, right? This is probably going to be one of the harder things that I try to do, because like the hat has two different angles that it's that you need to worry about, right? Like the front part of the hat and then the top. So let me actually worry about that a little bit later. Right? Let me not struggle with it right now. Let me worry about the rest of this first, right? But actually, you know what? I just realized something. The time. Oh, we only really got this far with this one today, which it's like, ah, damn. Like, it's okay though, you know, like, it happens and stuff. I only really have so little time every day to do the arting and stuff like that, right? And it's because I have my my day job to worry about and stuff like that, right? So unfortunately, this might be where we have to end off for today. Which is okay, you know, like it happens and stuff like that. Again, I wish that I could do this more full time, but if I did do this more full time, I would probably be homeless, unfortunately. But yeah, you know, thanks again, guys, for like, you know, hanging out with me during the sketching and stuff like that. I really appreciate it. Again, I just wanted to make the announcement. We'll be at Anime North next week, so I won't be streaming next week, but I will be continuing to do the arting behind the scenes, because I've got to actually prepare a lot of prints I have to restock for art tabling and stuff like that for next week and stuff like that. So that's also another thing that I've been doing. I've been actually figuring out the little things about my printer that are like really weird. And one thing that I will say for anybody who buys the Epson ET 8500 or the 8550, don't use the Wi-Fi setting. Do not use the Wi-Fi to transfer your images, because if there's an interruption in that Wi-Fi, your print is done. It's kaput. So like yeah, don't do that. Just get the wire. Get the USB wire. It's like $10. It should have came with the freaking thing, but you know, like, you know, that's just, yeah. You know, it's okay. So just get the wire to save yourself a whole lot of trouble. I'm gonna save this this sketch over here. I'm gonna save the this, and then what are we gonna do? I'm gonna look and see. Gonna go look and see. Let's see. Who is on right now? Elden Ring. You know what? Let's go get some Elden Ring. Here we go. I'll be back tomorrow evening. Maybe I'll have more this more complete. Maybe I'll just have more of other things that I'm gonna finish, right? Because there's also other artwork that I have to finish for the art tabling and stuff like that. So yeah, you know, thanks again for dropping by, everybody. Hope you guys have a good rest of your evening, and here we go. We're gonna go ahead and visit another rodent of extraordinary size. All right, see you guys.